when you're renovating a rusty old tub in West Wales, this is the weather you have to deal with.
Here we are, right, start of a fresh new week. I've only got about 2 hours today though to do something because my daughter's coming round for dinner. But I wanted to get down here, I don't want to waste a day. I've got some housework to do in there. Quite a few of you have moaned at me constantly about the state of what we call Heath House now. Because it's messy in there. It's called Heath House because Heath bought us that fantastic tarpaulin that goes on the top that really has been successful. Anyway, into Heath House, let's do some Heath housekeeping. First of all, heating, because it is chilly. It feels chillier in here than it is outside. Maybe that's because we've got a bit of sun. Heating's just gone on. I'll get some lights on. As per. Doosh. There's the lights, and we need the lights in the back. Right, I'll put you somewhere while I just get on and do some cleaning up.
Let me tell you this, let me tell you right now, your exquisite kiss still burning. Didn't know I missed this passion in life. Now I'm addicted somehow. Let me tell you what is up with your smile? It's impossible, not melting, irresistible. When I look through your eyes, not even sky's the limit. I used to be satisfied, stayed over the surface. Now I just can't get enough. You make me feel good like no other. I just want everyone to see what I've discovered. And when I'm with you, I go higher. You lift me up, now I can see so much farther. Beyond the I'm a butterfly who has only begun, taking me a while to...
Now you're probably wondering, why have I gone to all that effort of picking this steel up here and cleaning this up down here, making a little bit of a space? Well, the reason behind it is, when we finish getting this steel sorted out, we need the steel for the transom and for the bathing platform. And those are bigger bits of steel. They're 4 meters by 2 meters. So I've got on order, it's on order but on hold order, if that makes any sense, 2 pieces of 4 meter by 2 meter blasted and primed steel, 4mm steel, to go in. Now the problem with that is 4 meters, that's quite a length. And I would never be able to shuffle that in round the door like we have done with the smaller pieces that we stand on their end. So what I'm going to have to do is cut, where's my hand? It's there. Is cut a slot in Heath House. Okay, that's my 2 hours up. Got to go and have my dinner with my daughter. See you soon, Keely. Can you hear the sound of that? So it's blowing an absolute hoolie, and a few of you have asked in the past why we don't build a full canopy and a full frame and put tin roofs on it and things like that. I'll show you why. I guess we're pretty lucky today that the wind is actually coming from the bow of the boat. So Heath House is being sheltered but still getting a battering. I think if it was coming the other way, which it can do, we'd take a lot more of a battering. Bit of dirt on the lens. Right, take a look. I'll just stand here and show you what we have to put up with. Oh my gosh. Welcome to Wales. Oh. So let's get measuring this, double checking, triple checking, making sure we've got it in the right place before we start doing any cuts. It's a miserable day for it. Now I wish I'd done it the other day, and the reason for that is the wind's blowing this way and it's coming under the boat and it's chilling my legs. Right, let's get measuring and make sure this plate is precisely where we want it. So that lines up. I can get the laser out in a minute, but just using that steel as a straight edge, and that looks absolutely perfect. Right, the first cut is the deepest. So right where these two pieces of steel meet up, here in the middle, let's hope the measurements are right, we'll be doing a cut. I'll be using that steel as the guide to do the cut with a grinder. Wish me luck. So when I cut the centre section of the plate, as the plate lifted up to sit into place, it closed the gap. So I'm going to have to regrind that gap out. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to wait until I've cut everything else just to make sure we're perfect. But just to make sure it doesn't move in the process, I'm just going to put a quick spot weld on there just to hold the plate into place. So as you know, the weather is absolutely dreadful, and I might have mentioned, but it's howling under here and it's freezing and it's wet. I've just been under there to cut the centre section of the boat, and now my bum's even colder and draftier, it's wet through. So to cut the rest of it, I'm going to have to go under there. It's blowing a hoolie. I'm going to wait for tomorrow. I've got plenty of time left before the video. I'll come back tomorrow and do that. Before I do that though, I just want to treat this because this, oops, God. So this here is going to be cut off at some stage. But for now, the weather's howling, rain's pouring in here, and this is going to end up getting rusty. So I'm just going to put some oil on it. Can you believe it's the next day? Look at the sky. The sun's out. It's 9 degrees. We're cooking. I put my winter jacket on and everything, but I've got down here and the weather's absolutely beautiful. It just shows you just how variable it is in this part of the world. The good news is we've got less wind howling through the bottom of that boat now. So now I'm going to get on the ground with my brand new working jacket, get myself a little bit damp and wet, but cut that new steel in. Got myself some new gloves today. These are the old ones. These have been absolutely brilliant. They weren't that cheap, these leather gloves. I've got 2 sets of leather gloves, some more expensive ones and some cheaper ones. The more expensive ones are great. The cheaper ones are actually not too bad. They're here. Not too bad for the price, but these have been brilliant. Fur lined, really thick. I've been welding in these, carrying steel and all sorts, but sadly the stitching's come undone, which is not a biggie. It didn't upset me that much because I've had that much use out of them. I got a brand new pair. They take a little bit of bedding in. Get them on. Ooh. A beautiful yellow colour, like driving gloves. Hey, driving Miss Daisy. So they'll not stay beautiful and yellow for long. Right, so it's cutting day today. No more procrastinating about crawling on the floor. Today's as good a day as we're going to get it. I'm getting under there and I'm going to get this steel cut in. Wish me luck. Nearly getting ready for a new lens cover. Anyway, the problem I've got now, being a guy with a muscular stature, is previously I've been able to get in and out of the boat relatively easily. We can get in and out of the boat now.
One of us could.
Now, I can't really get in because the steel's in the way, and I don't want to crawl over steel that's not properly welded in yet. It's just tack welded in. So that means I've got to go up and down the boat, up and down the stairs. It'll do me good. But you can see, anyway, I've got to shift this strip that we've cut out. So there's the strip of the old hull that's cut out. And I can't reach it to pull it out, so I'll have to get inside the boat and see if we can get shut of that. Right, here I am. And if you're wondering what all the junk shoved down there is, well, that's because when I'm down there, I've been shoving stuff up here because this is coming aboard the boat, but there's been nobody up here to grab it. So I was planning a day with Rachel. She was going to be up here and me down there, just to decant some of down there into up here. Right, anyway, I might shift some of these boxes now and then get on with that steel. I just noticed this when I was in here. It's full to the brim. That was the storm we've just had. Right, nowhere to chuck it now. I'll chuck it in the bath. I don't know where the bath water goes, but I'll put it in there anyway and see. Going somewhere. Right, hopefully you can see me. I'm kind of half upside down. Can you see here? Down the middle. Let me get you something to point with. That bit there. Now, when we cut it, as it closed up, the gap disappeared, and in some places there's no gap anymore and it won't come back up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over it with a 1mm disc, just cut a nice slot in the middle. The gap needs to be 2mm, so we'll probably go over that with a 2mm disc, but after we're sure we've got everything in. I'll tack weld it in first, and then we can go over in preparation for the weld with a 2mm disc. I think that's going to be the key. Right, get on with that then. So there we are, the plate's cut in, and you see that gap's close up even more, so we could really do with taking the grinder down that a little bit more. I need to start thinking about tack welding it in now. It's dropped a little bit at the back, but it just presses up. You can push that up with your hand, so we'll match those edges up and get some tack welds on it. And then when we've done, 2mm gap, 2mm gap. Doesn't it look sweet? Can you believe it? I ought to take that rubbish off now, and so we can actually see that we've got a hole. I couldn't resist. I had to have a look at what it looks like. Now the steel's in. Can we see it? Well, look at that. Hey, I know it's not welded in, but it's starting to look like a boat. Okay, so that's the steel cut in. What we need to do next is tack weld that in, back to the old dog and wedge trick that we were doing before. But I'm going to do that tomorrow because sadly I still have to work and I'm on call tonight in about 2 hours time. So I'm going home now and then I'm on call. With a bit of luck, fingers crossed, shouldn't say this, I won't get called out, but still I've got to be at home with my cleans on, ready to go if I'm needed. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Back to another typical day. What can I say? Right, let's get on. Couple of quick thank yous. Alex Wallace, Super Legend, Thylo, if that's how you spell it, or is it Tylo? Tylo Linda, Super Legend. Now you might not have realised it because it's not been on camera, but it's been about 2 hours since I got here. I've just been re-inspecting the steel because what I noticed yesterday, and this just shows you my motto about don't leave important jobs too late. You remember how the steel closed up as it came upwards? It didn't just close because it came upwards, it closed because the steel, as we cut the part out that was holding it because of friction, it slid down slightly. And when I came and re-inspected it before I started tack welding it in, I noticed that it had moved very, very slightly, but enough so it bothers me. It probably wouldn't have mattered, but it annoyed me. So I spent the last 2 hours just messing with the steel and getting it into a better position again. And I think I've got away with it. I was a bit scared, oh my gosh, that I've cut now a massive gap out. Now the gap down the centre is not too important anyway, because the plate's not actually welded together on the original boat, because it has this thick, which I think is 10mm bar over the top that goes into the gap, and underneath is a U-channel which actually makes it waterproof. Now I could actually theoretically leave a gap in there of up to 10 mils, but I wanted to weld it anyway just to be double sure. And the reason behind that is just that extra security, because I'm not a professional welder, I just pretend to be one. So it shouldn't matter, but I got away with it anyway because the gap isn't out of whack. So I'm upstairs now in the aft cabin, and I'm going to start by putting in some tack welds. And I'm going to do these from above this time because I found it difficult welding from below. The welds weren't very nice, the tack welds weren't, and I'll see if it's a little bit better from up here. Right, let's job on. At the moment, I'm really concerned that the plate will move again. And so what I want to do is just get a quick tack weld on here, just to kind of hold it. If I'm going to stay in, we'll probably cut it out, because as we tack the plate to the boat, it'll change shape slightly. So I'm just finding a bit here where it's already flush. It's here. And I'm just going to grind that and put a little bit of a weld on it. It's just going to be about there. Can you see? It's just behind that bar. That was a bit of a dodge weld, but we'll be cutting that out anyway. It's just to hold it into place. I should have practiced a little bit first. I had to have 2 goes at that. I did a really dodgy one and then ground it out and then did a better one. So I should have practiced first. But anyway, I'm going to get on. If you'll notice here, you'll see here that this is higher than that. That needs lifting up. And that's the reason we use the dog and wedge technique. You put the dog on the lower side, and then the wedge goes along the higher side, lifts that up. I'm just going to clean this up, get a dog and a wedge on it, and see if we can pull that into place and get a tack weld on it.
I've been using the dogs and wedges because you can get more pulling power out of those. They'll distort steel more than the G-clamp method that I've also used. But I found that this is fine with this 4mm steel, and it's probably a little bit more accurate. So I'm abandoning the dogs and wedges, and I'm going to use a G-clamp. We'll see how we get on. Whoa. Right, that's it tack welded in. But I'll just show you what I've done. So tack welded down there, just so it all takes the contour of the boat. Let's turn the gas off and go and have a look what it looks like down below. There she is, all tack welded in, supported by the tack welds and this chain block here just holding this centre section. It's mainly holding the stern part of it up. We've still got this chain on, but it's loose and it's just there for safety. Anyway, while I'm here, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to Harry. Harry was the person who sent me the drill taps, but we didn't get a name, so thank you very much, Harry. Amazon wish list. Anyway, let's get back home. Don't forget thumbs up, subscribe button, hype button, all that jazz. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.